What's your they had no idea who I was moment? I was 23, working as a janitor at a prestigious law firm in Manhattan. Every night from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., I'd empty trash cans, vacuum carpets, and scrub toilets while lawyers worked late on million-dollar cases. They'd walk past me like I was furniture, sometimes literally stepping over my mop bucket without acknowledging my existence. Mr. Davidson was the worst. Senior partner, corner office, treated everyone beneath him like dirt. He'd deliberately knock papers off his desk before leaving, then complain if they weren't arranged perfectly by morning. Once he spilled coffee on important documents and blamed me for placing his cup too close to the edge, even though I wasn't allowed to touch anything on desks. 3 months into the job, I overheard him on a conference call discussing a merger worth $200 million. The numbers he was quoting were completely wrong. I'd been analyzing the same company for my MBA thesis. Yeah, the janitor had just finished business school but couldn't find work without connections. His calculations would cost his client at least $30 million in overpayment. I left a sticky note on his monitor with the correct valuation formula and walked away. Next morning, security footage showed him staring at the note for 20 minutes, then frantically recalculating. He never mentioned it, but suddenly stopped leaving messes and started nodding when he passed me in the halls. 6 months later, I'm cleaning the conference room when I hear shouting. Davidson's in there with the CEO of a tech startup, and the deal's falling apart. The CEO's screaming about intellectual property valuations, threatening to walk. Davidson's panicking, sweating through his $3,000 suit. That's when I knocked and entered with my cleaning cart. "Excuse me, Mr. Davidson, but are you using the Gordon growth model for the IP valuation?" Both men stared at me like I'd grown a second head. The janitor was speaking finance. "The what?" Davidson stammered. I explained the proper valuation method for intangible assets, wrote out the formula on their whiteboard, and showed how it would save both parties millions. The CEO's jaw dropped. "Where the hell did you learn that?" "Wharton MBA, graduated summa cum laude last year," I said, still holding my mop. "But apparently you need connections to get interviews, not just grades." The room went silent. Davidson's face cycled through confusion, embarrassment, and something like respect. The CEO turned to him and said, "You've had an MBA from Wharton cleaning your toilets for 6 months?" 2 hours later, I was sitting in that same conference room in my janitor uniform, helping structure a deal that would make both companies millions. The CEO hired me on the spot as a financial analyst. When HR said I needed to give 2 weeks' notice to the cleaning company, he laughed and wrote them a check for a month's wages. Davidson avoided me for weeks after that. Then one day he knocked on my new office door. Yeah, I had an office now, and said, "I owe you an apology and probably 1,000 thank yous." I looked up from the financial models I was building. "You don't owe me anything, Mr. Davidson, but maybe next time remember that the person cleaning your office might just save your biggest deal." My salary went from $15 an hour to $125,000 overnight. But the best part? Watching Davidson introduce me to clients as the sharpest analyst in the firm, when 6 months earlier, he didn't even know janitors had names.